I just got back from seeing the Minecraft movie, or sorry, a Minecraft movie, and whew, that sucked. Oh, it sucked so bad. The only reason it was enjoyable in any capacity was because we were in an audience that was super reactive and very excited about all the meme lines that would come up. Like, there were multiple times where we all clapped and cheered when, Jack Black would go, "Flint and Steel," or "Chicken Jockey," or whatever,
Chicken Jockey! Yeah!
But that is literally the only redeeming thing about this entire experience, for me at least. I have seen some people who were just fully on board with the style of the movie, and they enjoyed themselves. Happy for them. I'm not one of those people. I just could not get behind this one at all. I am going to talk spoilers, so, if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, or, ideally don't go watch it. It's not good. But maybe you'll get enjoyment out of it, so I don't know. If you care about spoilers, better duck out now. So yeah, I guess let me just go through the movie and just give my thoughts about it. I'm still just wholly baffled as to why they didn't make this an animated movie, akin to something like the Lego movie. It didn't have to be Lord and Miller per se, but just in that style. And you have an easy slam dunk of a movie right there, if that's what you go for. But instead they go for this really bizarre live action version of it, where just about everything in the Minecraft overworld is, it's still animated, but with, super realistic textures. It's quote unquote live action, even if most of it is CGI. I know some of the stuff that they did was practical, like a lot of the houses that the villagers live in were built. They were actually sets. That's all well and good, but I think just this movie's art style just really did not work for me. And, it seems like most people don't really like how it looks either. But it's really uncanny, and seeing the regular humans in the Minecraft world is just off-putting in a way I don't quite know how to describe. But yeah, let's talk what happens in the movie. So it opens with Jack Black, Steve giving a big, long opening narration info dump fest, basically going over how the Minecraft world works, kinda, sorta. And it's, narration and just talking about different Minecraft things and saying Minecraft buzzwords like Flint and Steel. And it's just, right off the bat, it's really bad. It doesn't start strong. You think, oh, maybe this will be okay. And then, kind of tapers off, falls off, and gets worse as the movie goes along. Nope. If you're not on board in the first 10 minutes, you're not going to like it. Let's see what else. Yeah. Opens with Steve going into the Minecraft world. He lives there, and then, this evil piglin lady captures him and his dog and steals this magical orb he found that is a portal to, the real world, but also serves as something that can turn the entire overworld into the Nether. I don't know. It's not very well explained. But yeah, another really bizarre choice with this is that they made the piglins from the Nether the villains of the movie. And that just doesn't make a ton of sense to me, because in Minecraft, when you play the game, they're in the Nether, but generally, especially if you're wearing gold armor, they don't really bother you that much. They're not that huge of a threat. What's the threat is, I can't remember what they're called. It's escaping me, but the black skeletons and stuff, and the blazes, those can hurt you and kill you and stuff. So it was just a weird choice, especially considering there's a pseudo kind of soft story built into Minecraft already, being that you're dropped into this world, you're by yourself, and you have to figure out how to survive, and then you have to build stuff and go mining, find things, and then eventually you'll need to, go to the Nether, venture out there to try to get, certain materials that you'll need in order to reach the end where you defeat the Ender Dragon. That is a built-in story, and they could have made a really cool adventure movie out of it, especially with Minecraft multiplayer. If they still wanted, a cast of 4 or 5 people, they could have easily done that. And, because Minecraft is all about being creative and working together, if you're playing in multiplayer at least. And that is really fun and cool. And I just didn't feel any of that energy in this movie. The gang is split up for probably about half the movie. And it seems very uninterested in actually taking the idea that you need to be creative and turning it into anything meaningful in the movie, because, Steve has a line in this where he's like, you need creativity in order to survive in this world. But then they don't exhibit any of that. When they first enter the overworld, Sebastian, is that his name? Is that the actor's name or the... Sebastian is the actor's name. Sorry, that's my bad. Henry is the character's name. And Henry runs into a tree and that breaks it, and then he realizes, oh wait, I can take stuff. So he builds a big wood house, which is what you're supposed to do on your first night in Minecraft. And once you're totally sealed into that wood house, you are safe. They can't get you, But somehow the entire house is completely overrun with zombies as they're trying to fight and stay alive, and that just misunderstands that first night of Minecraft. And they would 100% have died if Steve hadn't showed up and saved them. And so Henry is able to be creative, and he builds that little house to keep them all safe, but it doesn't work. And in Minecraft that does work. And so that was strange. And then, the rest of the movie, they're talking about you got to be creative, you got to build stuff. But they don't do any of that. They're saying, hey, we need this orb to give to this lady so that, Steve can get his dog back so he doesn't die. And so Steve's like, hey, come with me. Let's go to my stash. There's a bunch of stuff here we can use to survive. And, go find that crystal or whatever it was in a woodland mansion. And so they go to his little stash, and they all get all the best gear in the game immediately. Bunch of diamond armor, diamond weapons, and they're all set to go immediately. And so the idea that you're supposed to be creative and you have to figure out how things work, you got to go out, you got to go mine, you got to get diamonds or iron or gold, and then you got to make your weapons and your armor out of it. That's interesting. That's the gameplay loop of Minecraft. But none of that is in here because all that stuff is just handed to all of our characters by Steve. And so the idea that you're supposed to be creative is just completely lost because everything is handed to the characters on a silver platter. And so they're going in. So they go to the village, and he introduces them all to the villagers, and Jack Black does his Jack Black singing thing. Jack Black is enjoyable. I do like him in a lot of stuff, but he wasn't playing Steve in this movie. He was just being Jack Black. And that might work for you. In a vacuum, I like Jack Black, but it just didn't fit with Minecraft, in my opinion. But they're at the village, learning about all the Minecraft stuff, and then the piglins from the Nether come and attack them. And then the whole team gets split up. And so the one team is, I haven't even talked about Jason Momoa's character, Garrett, the Garbage Man Garrison. So in the real world, he's like a guy who owns a little gaming shop. He won some gaming award in the 80s and is kind of washed up and a loser a bit. Because that's his entire identity. And he's, funny in the movie, I guess. I don't know. It didn't totally work for me. I could see it working for some people though. But he and Sebastian meet. I keep saying Sebastian, god damn it. He and Henry meet at his little shop. And then he has the crystal there because he somehow ends up with all of Steve's belongings from the real world. Oh yeah, because he buys Steve's a storage unit filled with Steve's stuff from his old house. And that's where we get So this is before they end up in the overworld in the beginning of the movie, and that's where we get Dan TDM's cameo, which is just him standing there and participating in the auction for that little storage unit. And he doesn't have any lines. He's not wearing anything particularly Dan TDM like. He's just kind of there. And it was cool to see him, but I wanted more out of something like that for a Dan TDM cameo. Like, I don't know, have him have some lines or something. Have him be in the overworld. Maybe Steve's not the only human who lives in the overworld. Maybe Dan lives there somewhere and he helps them on their journey at some point. Like, that would have been such an interesting and earned cameo for him, but instead he's just relegated to some random extra that could have been anybody. The fact that it's him isn't special. Whereas in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, you know, Matt Pat is the waiter at that one restaurant, and he gets to talk to them, and then he says his iconic, "That's just a theory" line. And like, that felt meaningful, that felt cool, that felt funny, because he got to say his thing and he was there in some capacity and contributed to the scene. But Dan didn't do that, and that's not his fault, you know. And I'm sure it was, you know, he has videos on his channel about being excited to go and see the set of the Minecraft movie and be a part of it. And, you know, it's cool that he had a part. He deserved a better one, in my opinion. Let's see, trying to get back on track with what I was talking about. So yeah, the team gets split up. So it's Steve, Garrett, the gamer guy, and Henry. So they get split up from real estate lady and Henry's older sister. And, you know, back in the real world at the beginning, again, I guess I should just go through characters. Henry's older sister, her name is escaping me. Let me see if I can find out. Natalie. Natalie's her name. So she, you know, is the new guardian because their mom died and they moved, and she has a job now, and so she has to be taking care of Henry. And that kind of never comes into play in any meaningful way. You know, it would have been interesting to see her become a better mom, better protector of Henry in this world, and watch him spread his wings and utilize his creativity that he has in the real world. But just none of that is ever taken advantage of in any capacity in the screenplay. And so she gets split up alongside their real estate agent or their landlord or something. I can't even remember her name either. Damn. Dawn. Dawn is her name. So they get split up together, and while Steve and Garrett and Henry get to go do all the interesting, cool stuff, like going into the mines and riding mine carts and battling more guys and explosions, they walk through a forest at night, and that's it. That's all they do for most of the movie. And it's just not interesting. It's just such a waste of characters. Clearly, the movie was written around the three leads, Henry, Steve, and Garrett, and we don't get anything meaningful from any of the rest of the cast, which is, you know, disappointing. It didn't have to be 5 people. They could have cut those 2 from the movie, and not really much would change. You know, it's really it's not convoluted how they get back together, but it's a crazy coincidence. You know, Garrett sacrifices himself, blows up, or so we thought. You know, it's a kids movie. It's a Minecraft movie. He doesn't die. He comes back later. But so Steve and Henry have escaped, and they crash land in the middle of a forest. Both pass out, and they wake up, and they're being taken care of by the other 2. So they just happened to crash land where those people were. Super convenient. So they wake up. They have all their magic gear still. So then they go to the Woodland House, or not the Woodland House, the Woodland Mansion, and they're able to. So Henry goes upstairs to get the special crystal they need to get home. He goes up there, he's looking through all the drawers, and you see some Minecraft items, and it's kind of fun. He gets the thing, and then he fights an Enderman. And, you know, Steve talks about earlier how he almost died having to fight an Enderman. But Henry is able to defeat the Enderman without even trying, with no trouble at all. But we do get a cool scene where he's like looking into the Enderman's eyes, and he's having like visions of all his friends here saying, "You suck, you're not good enough." And Steve has this moment where he's got the white eyes and he's saying bad things, and it's a Herobrine reference, and that was funny. That was enjoyable. I was very happy to see that. But yeah, he defeats the Enderman. It's barely not an obstacle. You know, or I should say it barely is an obstacle. It's not a problem whatsoever. And then, you know, we get the chicken jockey scene where Garrett has to fight one, and it's goofy silly and they escape. And then somehow the bad guys get a hold of the magic orb and start turning the entire overworld into the nether and killing everything. And it's, oh no, creativity is being stifled by these guys, but creativity is also being stifled by Steve because he's not letting them be creative. He's just handing them everything they need. Yeah, there's a lot of frustrating things in this movie. So yeah, the final battle just was not very interesting at all. Garrett comes in and saves Henry at the last second before he dies, as everyone could predict. They get the orb, they defeat everybody. Yay, they saved the overworld. Go back to the nether, evil piggies. And that's it. So yeah, and just with the dialogue and the story, it just feels like nobody involved in this has really played Minecraft, or if they have, it didn't get it, I guess. Because the entire screenplay and things that happen just feel like they come across a Minecraft item or something in Minecraft. Steve says it in a dramatic Jack Black-like manner, and then they move on. There's just not really anything interesting that happens. There's no cool action sequences or anything really. It's just kind of meh the whole way through. Yeah, it just didn't make me feel anything but sadness because, I've seen people make the argument, oh, it's just a kids movie. So it doesn't have to be good. It just has to be something that they'll like. And I don't think that's true. Kids deserve better. Look at the Lego movie. Look at Pixar movies and a lot of Disney movies too. They're good. They've got good characters. They have good lessons that can be taken away from it. And Minecraft just doesn't have any of that. And so the idea that you could just phone it in and not care and just make oh, look at this thing from Minecraft. Isn't that cool? That doesn't make for an interesting movie or an interesting experience. And with how just what a nothing burger of a movie this is, kids deserve better than that. People like me who grew up playing Minecraft deserve better than that. Minecraft as a whole deserves better than that. So yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be good. But yeah, it was still very disappointing. And I haven't even talked about the subplot, which is Jennifer Coolidge's character, who's like the principal or something at Henry's school. A villager accidentally wanders into the real world and she hits him with a car and they fall in love over probably not even 5 minutes of screen time in total. It'll randomly cut back to her and the villager on a date or whatever in the movie, and it's like a 30-second scene, and then we go back to everyone else in the overworld. A lot of people somehow really enjoyed that. I did not. It was uncomfortable. It was weird. It was sexually charged in a bizarre manner. And then at the end, the villager just starts talking in English because it's like, haha, he spent enough time around humans. I just started speaking English, and it wasn't funny. The guy who directed this movie was Jared Hess, who is behind Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. Those movies are great. Those movies are hilarious. Those movies have fun characters and a plot and funny moments, like actual comedy. And this movie just didn't have any of that. The way it's shot does feel very Napoleon Dynamite, like very, very much Nacho Libre. Like you can see his fingerprints on the movie. But unfortunately, the things that make Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre still beloved are the characters and the comedy, and those are just both missing here. So yeah, very disappointed. I knew it wasn't going to be good. It wasn't as suspected. 4 out of 10, it'll make $1 billion. Oh, something I forgot. They did have a Technoblade tribute where there's a pig walking around. That's Technoblade's avatar, and Steve's like, oh, he's a legend, and that was cool. I liked to see that. That was a good nod to him. Yeah, they only had a few Minecraft YouTubers in the movie, which makes sense. They can only have a few, but they probably couldn't have a lot of them because Minecraft YouTubers are sus and not cool. They have a reputation. Post-credit sequences. Steve goes back to his old house, and who's living there? It's Alex. We don't see her face. We don't get anything interesting with her. It's definitely sequel bait. maybe the sequel will be better. I'm certain this movie is going to be successful. They'll probably make another one. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it involves something like the Ender Dragon. Alex will be a character in it, obviously. I don't know. Just like, it could have been so much better. But I think from the get-go, they had the wrong idea. Mini conspiracy of mine, maybe. It feels like this was a script for the Minecraft movie that was shelved for a good long while, because this movie's been in like development hell for like 10 years. It feels like after seeing the success of movies like Super Mario Brothers, shows like The Last of Us, the Sonic movies, seeing those become successful and beloved, they were like, okay, I don't care what you got to do. That script right there, yeah, make that one. And that's what it feels like, because it's not a good screenplay. It seems like something that would be shelved and not made, but then they pulled it out of the archives because they needed to get something out to make a bunch of money. And so, yeah, it definitely will make money. Let me even look right now. What's the box office expectation for this weekend? Probably a lot. Our theater was pretty packed. Minecraft movie looks to build a 140 million plus global gold mine. Wow, that is a lot of money. And looking at Wikipedia, according to this, its budget is 150 million. It's probably going to make almost its entire budget back just this opening weekend alone, and then it's just profit from there. So I'm sure the execs at Warner Brothers are very happy to see that this movie's super successful. So I hope if they do a sequel, they try harder, they make something better, and make an animated spin-off, dude. Like, make an animated Minecraft movie. That would be so cool. But yeah, I'm just kind of talking in circles at this point. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts. 4 out of 10. Not great. Maybe you'll get some enjoyment out of it if you're able to go see it with a packed audience. But otherwise, wait to watch it at home and play Minecraft while you watch it in the background or something, because you'll have a better experience. Yeah, those are my thoughts. See ya.